All right. Welcome back, everybody. Monday, February 24th. It's one of those months. It's the shortest month of the year, and Meekins made it shorter. How many of you are still struggling with the back office? Okay. Um, well, first of all, let me just say it's new, right? So anything that looks different, even though it has a lot of the bells and whistles that we're used to, it just looks a little different. It's going to take some time to sort out and look for what you're looking for. I was looking for one specific report that I need, that it's one of my most, and then I get notice from Frank that this is the report you're looking for, and it's like, whoa, I didn't want all of that. It's got like everything, and I'm like, well, I just needed this much of it, but now it's got a lot more than what I was expecting. So yeah, it's going to take some getting used to learning the back end of this. But right now, the focus is we got to get through this month, and we got to get through this month like it was a normal month. We have to just make up for what it is that we need to do. So here are the things that I'm focused on. Number one, making sure everybody I have touch points with knows how to log in. So that means they have to click, they go to myneekin.com. I was one of the first people on that one Sunday morning because there was an error when you went to myneekin.com and went to the old one, not the new one. So anyway, now it's working properly. It goes to the new one. You click on the text message that says, whatever it says. You click on that, and then it takes you to where you need to go, and you fill in the ID information, and then it'll send you an email. You click on the link in the email, it'll open up, put your new password in, and you're off to the races. The password requirements, they said that you can use the old password, but I think what they mean by that is you can use your old password if your old password met the requirements, which is there has to be like a capital letter, there has to be a number or a special character. Make sure it's a special character that they have in their list of special characters. I always use the most obvious ones. But yeah, so if you've gathered this up, make sure anybody in your influence is on this. Don't leave it up to chance. I keep saying this. Don't leave it up to chance. Nobody likes change. We're creatures of habit. Nobody likes change, but change is good, especially if it's this kind of change. And let me just tell you why this is so important. Um, by the way, the reason why it happened at this time of the month, which is the absolute worst time of the month it could possibly have happened. The last week of the month is always the worst time of the month to make anything like this happen. And on the shortest month of the year, because the contractual obligations that they had with respect to the software developers of the previous version, which, if you recall, a few years ago, we had the system kind of blow up on us and they had to fix that real quick. We're up in February. So the transition had to happen. Um, so there you have it. It is what it is. Now, the question is, can you manage to get everybody on board, get your customers on board? The other caveat is all the credit card information is not transferred. So you have to re-enter the credit card information if you have an auto ship order, or if they have an auto ship order. Again, don't leave it up to chance. I know Niken's service bureau, their staff is doing what they can to reach out and contact people, but it's your business. Get on top of it. You got some people with auto ship orders, get on top of it and make sure that they, walk them through what they have to do. Um, what was I going to say? Oh, why? Yeah. So this new back office, what it is, it's like the previous version was 20 plus years old, and it had all kinds of bootstraps on it that made it functional and operational today. But it was not the platform that we have right now, which is the platform we would absolutely have to have if we had any hope in hell of going to 500 million. So it was an absolute necessity to change this platform, to put in place a platform that could grow with us and had the ability to do the things that you're going to see actually start to come, like customer retention programs and loyalty programs, and all these things are now doable in this new platform that were not at all doable in the previous platform. So a lot of the things that you've been hoping for, waiting for, and wondering why don't we have this, you're going to have this now because we now have the platform to actually make that happen. And Niken is absolutely committed to not being a company that's lagging in technology, but a company that you're proud of to say we're forerunner in technology. Look at all the beautiful things that we got to offer this as a viable business opportunity for people. So it's a big deal. This is a really, really big deal, and it really kind of needs all hands on deck and a little bit of patience on your part. And especially if you're new, Josie, you're new. It's like, wait a second, I just got in here and already they're telling me to change my password. It's like, yeah, I know.
No,
It's just what it is.
I don't mind technology. The only thing I'm having trouble is when I go to josephinamynican.com, in my profile, I'm able to put a picture,
Yeah.
but on the actual page, Nikan, my name in big, it has a round circle and I have no idea how to get
Yeah,
my picture
I
there.
had that happen to. So I was on the phone earlier today with the CEO, and I said, "Hey, are the pictures being transferred?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, my picture's not there." He says, "Your picture's not there." So what's your URL? He went on and said, "Hey, your picture's not there." I said, "Yeah, that's what I said. My picture's not there. What happened? Are they being transferred?" He says, "I'll get back to you on that." So I don't know. Right now, I know that there's a system migration. So when you get your iPhone, when you get your new iPhone, it has to take all that data from the cloud and dump it into your phone. And depending on how much data you have and the connection speed, it could take a long time. It could take like an hour or two or even more to transfer all the data from one phone to the other phone. And and so it's doing that in the background. So while we're sitting here talking, Niken's old server and new server, it's still doing that. It's still making all those numbers go across and all those that data go across while at the same time trying to operate, new orders and things like that. So there is a system migration happening as we speak. I don't know when it will be complete, but there are some things that are obviously pending, such as our photos in our profile. If you put a photo in your profile, I don't know. I don't have a confirmation that that's being transferred. I just raised the question and I was told they'd get back to me. So that's the kind of thing that's happening right now. But like I said, we're in the last week of the month. This is an important time for the business, let alone the fact that we're in the middle of this um, volley of stuff going on. Dr. Karen, you've got your hand up.
Yes. So I was playing around with my back office this morning and I was able to put my picture on the PWP. When I saved it, it's saved temporarily. But I just noticed that Leo put in the chat that he put his back on. Well, what I did is this morning I double checked it and it disappeared. So the back office is still migrating. Okay, as you said, Mike. And it's possible that Leo put his picture on after I did later this morning. So that's what I experienced.
It's
Yeah,
funny because I can put the picture on when I log in with my ID, it's there, but on the nikan.com with my name, you don't see it. It's weird.
that's you're saying your back office, you have the photo, but your PWP where you send your customers and so forth, it's not there.
Okay, when you guys say back office, you mean
MyNiken.com is your back office. So you can
right.
log in and see all your profile, your business activities, all that stuff. But your personal web page, your PWP, that's what you would send a customer for them to go shopping or to register and so forth.
Okay, my personal page, eh, you can see a little picture under profile. Like right now, I'm looking at nikan.com and my name comes up, but it's the big round circle. It's confusing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Does anybody have their profile picture up on it? Did anybody's get transferred?
Let me see if
Yeah, I don't think so. I think
Mine
that's
did. No, not
part yours
transferred. No.
yours did. Whose did?
No, this is Jeannie. I'm sorry. I put mine back on. I didn't
Oh,
have it there. I put it back on.
so yeah, okay, it wasn't transferred.
And
Okay,
I'm looking
well,
next to him.
um, that's unfortunate, but I don't know if there's a migration happening. Let me ask that question once again,
And
Yes,
while we're here, because I might be able to
Sierra.com.
get a direct question
Mike,
answered.
the
Yeah.
PWP information that you put in there with your phone number and email address is not what appears on the customer site and in order to see it, you have to go into Shop Now. It's not on the main page. So if somebody doesn't go on to, the Shop Now, why they won't see my information. Um, and then when they do, they don't see the right information. They don't see what I put in the PWP for a phone number and an address.
Okay. Give me a second. I can't listen and text at the same time. I know the women on this call can, but I just can't. Dave, how about you? How's it going?
It's going good. The anomaly with my situation was my ID number, because it's so damn old, started with 00. So every time I put in 00 in the number, it rejected it. So I couldn't do it. And of course, customer service didn't wake up till Monday morning at 8 a.m. So it was like, what the hell? I know how
What
to
was
do
your
this.
00? Mine was 007. What was
Yeah,
yours?
006.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, I haven't used the 00 for like 2 years now, at least.
Oh, but mine was in there and the system was fine. And then this afternoon I made a quick call. She said, "Well, why don't you take out the 2 zeros?" Well, why didn't you tell me that? And I did. It worked fine.
Perfect.
So I did a couple of points here. Your back office is only as good as you make it something that has to be good. The key to your back office is volume and production. So I wouldn't worry about your back office at all. I'd worry about recruiting and selling product. And if you can figure out how to sell a product, well, if you can't use your back office, call customer service. Let Nikan figure out all the dealy doos it has, and let's not spend another 2 seconds worrying about silly little things that we can't control. What we can control are two things: production and more production. And it's the last week of the month. It's the shortest week of the month. And now's the time to pour on the coals and sign up people and get volume and reach your targets and reach your goals.
And
And
take
that's
advantage of whatever we have going. I know that there is a sleep pad offer, and if you're not sleeping on one, honest to God, like, come on. If you're not sleeping, it's such an important thing to know and have a feeling for, because you're going to become a raving fan about it. And it's going to be a high ticket item that you're going to market and create big volume and great results, great testimonials with.
I want to go back to this other thing. In the beginning, we didn't have a back office because we didn't have a computer to list the back office. So if you wanted to get a downline, you'd have to go into the company, and for $5, they'd print out your downline. And so if you were monitoring your business by your downline, you're in there every other day spending $5 getting a printed downline. And you sift through that with all these names and numbers. And so the bottom line was that we've kind of been led down a little bit of a path of, it's kind of like having a soother for a kid, where you rely on this back office to do things, but it only does things if you put things for it to do. So do prioritize what you need to do here.
So yeah, in that case, then make sure your PWP is functional, that it's got your photo or whatever. Don't wait on that. Just get that sorted out, because that's the people, when you bring somebody to either enroll or to purchase products, it's going to be through your PWP. So make sure that one is something that you're familiar with very, very well, while all this other stuff gets sorted out. Yes, I wouldn't be walking or functioning after my multiple surgeries in 2024 if it weren't for the sleep system. I'm not sure who said that.
Barbara.
Barbara did. Yeah. Okay. So, honestly, I've got 4 sleep systems stacked on top of each other. Every time they come out with a new edition, I just buy it and put it on. So I've got them all like one on top of the other. So I'm not kidding. You come to my house to see 4 sleep systems. Anyways, so um, it is month end. Let's talk about that. It's an important part of the month. Again, this is a short month, but hey, I think the last time, and this is exactly what happened. The last time this happened, we had a surge at the end of the month when we got our system back up. And I'm guessing that was because everybody started making phone calls. And it's an amazing thing when you start making phone calls, what happens? It's a different dynamic, the business. And so, yeah, reach out and touch somebody. Let them know that there is something new. I mean, this is a big thing. There's something new going on. And it's important that people know the direction that we're heading in and how wonderful it is to be part of a company that's investing in the future. And on the order of millions of dollars, by the way, this thing ain't cheap. So yeah. So with respect to month end, let me recap for you some of the things that I do at month end. First of all, if you've got some people that you or people on your team have been in touch with, you want to draw this out. The first thing you want to do is draw it out on a piece of paper. And what I do is I draw circles for people who are enrolled in NECANN, who are a consultant, and dotted lines for people who are not yet enrolled but are thinking about it or have been in contact. The process has started with those individuals. I draw as a dotted line. So let's say I enrolled Leo, and Leo has Cheryl, and she's a circle, and Cheryl has Paula, who's a dotted line. Possibly she's talked to Paula, and it's a dotted line. We don't know if Paula is going to be a customer or consultant. That hasn't been determined yet. That's why it's a dotted line. So now there's an opportunity there to help Paula make a decision. So Leo's interested in helping Paula make a decision. I'm interested in helping Paula make a decision. Cheryl's interested in helping Paula make a decision because she joins our team. So now me, Leo, and Cheryl get together and say, hey, what is it that Paula needs in order for Paula to make a decision to get started with us? What is it that she's missing? What information is she missing? Is she just lacking confidence? What is it? So we put a little strategy together. And she's like, well, she's really interested in getting started, but she just hasn't made a decision how she wants to get started, good, better, or best, or whatever. Okay, so what about if we help her make that decision? And there's a number of ways we could do that. Paula may be on a budget. There may be some things that we don't know about that we need to have a conversation with her about. But sometimes an incentive can go a long way when it comes to the business. So let's say, for instance, we want to help Paula become an executive. Now, why did I say executive and not senior? There's direct, senior, executive. What's better, senior or executive? Executive is better, both for Paula, because that's going to put her to the 10% bonuses. And so good, better, best combinations of packs or products to get to 1,500 points. Well, what's it going to take for Paula to get to 1,500 points? What if Paula had 1,200 points, or she was willing to go that far? She would just need the extra 300. Between Cheryl, Leo, and myself, could we help her there? Yeah, we could. That little bit of help that we provide her could help Paula make the decision and make the thing happen. And the next thing you know, out of thin air, we've got 1,500 points. Now, there's something in the way of those 300 points that we're willing to invest. They could be points to Paula, but they could also be product to Lynn. Lynn is over here as a potential customer who would like to get some NECANN products, and she's thinking about getting a sleep system. Well, maybe we offer Lynn a pillow and she gets her sleep system. So now instead of me putting my 100 points to put a product where Paula's concerned, maybe I order that product to Lynn's house. Did you see what happened? That pillow placed an order in Paula's account, but the pillow has a customer associated with it named Lynn. Lynn gets the pillow, Paula gets the points. 2 birds with 1 stone. Paula says, yes, I'm in, 1,200 points. Lynn says, yes, I'm in, sleep system. That 100-point pillow just multiplied into 1,500 points, 2,000 points. That's leverage. And incentives, product purchases by you for the sake of encouraging your business. Here's another one. Here's another simple one. The products, when they're on a discount like they are, if you purchased it for the purposes of selling it down the road, you're multiplying your profits. This is a very popular thing they do in Latin America, by the way. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, they got these pictures of them standing in front of boxes of Nikken waterfalls and air units. The reason they do that is they literally buy them at that discounted price and they go find homes for them and they sell them at the full price, making a heck of a lot more profit. So that's smart business if you like, money. So Paula, you got your hand up first.
Yeah, it's funny when you talk about things like that. When I first got started, all I wanted to do was buy it wholesale. And I even told my sponsor at the time, don't even talk to me about the compensation plan because I'm not interested. Well, in the first 3 months, because I became such a raving customer, the first 3 months I spent $11,000 with Nikken. Had I done it in the first month, I would have made a lot more money. Another thing is back in the old days when it was 20,000 points to go silver, I concentrated on helping Lynn and one of my other downline, Vivian, because they both wanted to get to silver. So I concentrated all my efforts to help them go silver. They both got to bronze, but life gets in the way. But because they both got to bronze, I popped to silver. So sometimes by helping people down line, it enhances your position.
In fact, I like to say the easiest way to go silver is help somebody else go silver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul. Good comment. By the way, for those of you who wonder what bronze is, it was a position in the compensation plan before Nikken simplified it to just the three before the senior executive silver. Bronze was in the middle of those. Dave.
Yeah, Mike, just, from the standpoint of a business concept, if you were to go to a Ford dealership or a Chevy dealership or a Tesla dealership, they all have cars there and it's their inventory. And what they do is they cut a deal with the manufacturer to buy those cars on time and pay interest. And then they sell the car and then they get the discounts, et cetera, et cetera. Well, back in the day, and it just happened most recently, I'm doing some volunteer work and I brought in a water unit for a particular area because I wanted to be in it and I wanted to drink the water. Then all of a sudden, everybody started to drink the water. And then before you know it, the next person bought one. And then now I got another one on the hook. And then there are 4 more that are going to be sold in the next, probably 30, 60 days. But what was fascinating was I caused that to happen by putting one in myself. So I took some cash, I bought a unit, and then I put it to work like an employee. Now, this is how we used to talk in the beginning. Said, buy some employees and put them to work. Because the biggest thing that we saw in the beginning and what we've talked about every week here for months now is the benefit and the experience of the product and of using it so that you've got a story to tell. And every time, we put somebody on the product and they got an experience, they either bought the product or they joined the business, one of the two. So if you were prospecting business guys, then they joined the business. If you were prospecting customers, then they bought the product. So as a mindset here, you might want to consider to put a little investment into your business and make these employees work for you. And especially like Michael just said, what they do down in Mexico. And I have the same thing. I have a group in Mexico and they buy product and then they save it and then they sell it full retail price down the road. They make all the profits and they're just being very smart about it. So we need to do the same thing.
Thanks, Dave. And by the way, just that reminded me of a story. I got to tell this story. I don't know if you've heard this story before, but it was a very touching moment for me in my early Nikken days, when I was first launching in Toronto here. There was an old gentleman, an elderly gentleman. He was 75 years old. He used to show up at our meetings with a beautiful fedora, a long coat, and he was not a nobody. This guy was the guy who started Tip Top Tailors. For those of you in the city of Toronto know, Tip Top Tailors was a men's fashion clothier, big building, big signage on the still downtown Toronto. So he is a really well-to-do entrepreneur who started that chain. And so I'm at his, Ben Dunkman was his name. So he invites me over to his condo, which is at, again, a very prestigious part of Yonge and or Bay and Bloor, Toronto, like the hot spot of where you want to live in Toronto, like the Fifth Avenue of Toronto kind of thing. And so I go up to his condo, and the reason why I was invited was because at that time, what we used to promote Nikken was audio cassettes. Literally, we would hand people audio cassettes, listen to this, and people, while they're driving to work or whatever, they'd listen to the audio cassette. God, I'd hate to have to do that again. So, so here he is. He ordered like 100, 200, whatever it was. I came to deliver those audio cassettes to him, and so he sits me down in his living room. He's sitting to my right. He's two chairs in his little living room in his beautiful condo, and he says to me, Mike, I haven't been able to sleep on the sleep system. And all of a sudden, I'm like really concerned. Like, that's why? Like, what's wrong? He says, oh no, it's not like that. He says, every time I get my sleep system, I give it to a friend to try and they won't give it back. But this time, he says, I bought three and I got to sleep on it the last 2 nights. And he looks at me dead square in the face, pan-eyed, and he says, I feel 15 years younger. And right there in that moment, I got chills and I literally welled up my eyes with tears because I couldn't believe what I was hearing, that this is what I was involved in, that these products were doing that to people. It was like, what? And it was very sincere, very heartfelt. And I was like, oh my God. But what was so cool about that was that if it wasn't for the fact that he had the product for people to try, he wouldn't be getting those kind of results. And so if you don't have products for yourself, that's one thing. But if you really want to expand your business in a hurry, say less to more people, let the products do the talking. And one of the most profound products I've ever had that I would lend out was the sleep system, because that really makes a difference. People get on it and they don't want to not have it. And sometimes they give it back to you, and it's like the day later, they're like, okay, bring it back or give me one of my own, because they notice the difference. And it's that kind of an effect. So it is an employee. It has the potential to multiply people's interest and attraction without words. It
That's
works
what
in the
got me
background.
that's what got me involved.
Anybody
Someone
here?
loaned me a sleep system.
Anybody else here on the phone? Raise your hand if you are on the call. Raise your hand if somebody loaned you something and that was sort of the thing that broke the ice. Okay, that's about half of us on this call that are visually on the call. Some of you are raising your hands. Okay, maybe even more than half of us. So obviously that works. Letting people try the products, experience the products works. So having some on hand, good idea. Very good idea. Shrill.
Two things. Yes, the products on people, they speak for that they speak. Even though they don't have a voice, they are speaking. If you one day this lady told me that that the products didn't work because I loaned her a pair of insoles and I asked her to take her feet out of her shoes and she didn't even have them on. I said, ma'am, they're powerful, but they're not that powerful. Like they don't work if you're out here on the street and they're in the closet somewhere. Doesn't work like that. You have to have body contact, but they do speak. And I will say that in any product that I have loaned, I don't get it back. We work out a payment plan, or we get my money back right in my hand for what they bought because they feel value. And it's just an awesome way to do things. I'm learning to do things new too, but that does work for me. Okay. One more other thing. When the waterfalls, the end of last year, they were like $260 something or two something. It was a steal of a price. My only problem was I should have brought two, but I only bought one. but I did buy it and I did sell it to my neighbor for a retail. And it felt good getting my money, getting my profit, getting my percentage. And it just kind of sparked something there also. So I am going to snatch up products when they are, of the great discount that we get when it's extra. Like the sleep pack is one of them is 30% off. That's an awesome snatch up too. And then selling for retail, you got your money back and then some. It's awesome. It's awesome. Thank you. I'm sorry, I might be rambling, but
Not
that's
at all,
how
not
I
at
feel.
all. That's awesome. I mean, you sound like an entrepreneur to me, Cheryl. That's exciting for me. I mean,
Well,
that's
that's
what we're
exciting.
talking about.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Wow, awesome. Hey, I just got a response from Frank. He said that we are reviewing how to migrate that data. It may take a few more days. So they're still doing the migration stuff. So clearly not everything is happening all at one shot. Any other comments before we move on? Okay, so we all know what the exercise is then. Make sure you've got adequate products for you to do business and be the business, be the representative of the business. You got to be your own best customer. I think that's just goes without saying. This is a show and tell business. It's do as I do, not do as I say. And that's what makes it so integrous. We're a company that has integrity through and through because we mean what we say and we say what we mean. And that's definitely where the products land for us. So, any questions about that month-end strategy with respect to what I call tic-tac-toe, helping somebody advance in rank while helping somebody else make a decision for purchasing the products? You can leverage that product investment a couple of ways and multiply. I used to look for a 3-to-1 return. So if I put in $500, I would expect at least 1,500 come back in terms of the return. So it was a good number for me. That's how I sort of always allocated it. Let's see. Hello, story I told on Facebook is about Simon Rivet's parents. What story is that, Leo?
A couple I meet this afternoon on cafe.
Ah, yes. Okay.
So you remember Svan?
Yes.
And Felix and Oliver?
Yes.
I see Oliver, but I don't recognize a parent because the father is a AVC, or is that AVC, obviously. He paralyzed
half of his face is paralyzed.
Yeah. Oh, he walk, he very problem. And his mother, she started Alzheimer. He only 62 years old.
Paraplegic and Alzheimer's.
Paraplegic and Alzheimer's. Okay, so
Yes.
yeah, so that's the couple you met at the coffee shop today.
Yeah,
And
that's the first time they go this coffee shop. The law of attraction.
Okay,
But,
so what became of it?
Yeah. What became? Okay.
What you're telling us this because what happened?
Yeah, but he looked me, said, Olivier said, so you look like younger than I met you 10 years ago. I said, thank you. It's Nikan. You're still a Nikan? Of course, I'm still a Nikan. And I shared him to my webpage, PWP. But I'm very sad about the parents. You see, he no job. He quit, can't work. He's only 62 years old. He lost money, lost health, everything. And that's what I say to Oliver. You know what, Oliver? I share you the Nikan product and put on it. Sleep system, Nicholas, everything. Help them. He said, okay. I talked with Felix and Simon, and I give you back and say, you have a special for the sleep system. I do my best for him.
Good for you. Good for you. Yeah. We have a secret.
And that
But
goodwill will travel like a jet, Leo.
Yeah. We have a secret, the best kept secret, the sleeping giant, as we used to say, but we got to make it not a secret no more. We got to take it from 1.25% market penetration to 10%. Guys, you know what the numbers are? That's over $40 billion in sales. That's about $20 billion in commissions. billion with a B. It's huge. So how's that going to happen? It's going to happen by getting out of our comfort zone. Hey, listen, I am the laziest person I know. I am really comfortable the way I live life. But even I too am moving myself out of my comfort zone. That's why I did the 3 days with Tony Robbins and so forth. It's because, hey, Mike, come on. You're too young to retire, and you got a lot of chutzpah. Let's get out there and make this happen. So I posted, if you got, oh, speaking of which, let me just make a mention of that. If you haven't gone to my Facebook page, go to my Facebook page, scroll down 2 or 3 posts, and you're going to see a post that talks of, you'll see my picture and a post that is putting out to the universe, putting out to my Facebook following. If you want to copy that, copy it and do your own version of it. Just maybe tweak it so it fits your profile better. But it's really a public statement and an offer for people to join me. It's really, really well written. It was written by a friend of mine, and we're working on a project together to come to really start pushing Nikken in a big way. So read it, that caption, copy it, use it. Put your picture, your profile picture up or whatever, and post that. I think it can really help draw some attention to yourself.
Are you getting feedback on it, Mike? Because
I got
did
like
see it and I read it.
160. I was just looking at it. I got like 160 comments or likes and things or whatever. I got 16 or something comments. One person said yes, they'd like to know more when they get back from Barbados. 123 comments, 124. It's going up. But yeah, so again, it's all about attention, right? Getting some attention. 124 likes, comments, 16 comments, 124 impressions, and 2 shares. Somebody's even 2 people have even shared it. So yeah, it starts with join me in building a global legacy, a life-changing opportunity for experienced entrepreneurs. Notice the target
Those
market.
shares, are they Nikken people that shared them?
I don't know. I haven't looked. So the point is, this is a very specific message. It's a targeted message. I'm talking to people like me who are wanting to push their legacy further, to go beyond where they're at, that they're already an entrepreneur. So it's very important that when you put a message out, you're talking to a very specific person. And it took us 3 months of conversations to identify the person we're looking for. So I'm speaking to a person who's out there who will reflect on these words, and it'll speak to them. And that's the kind of thing that you want to start doing in your network marketing business, in your Nikken business, is ask yourself, who do you want to partner with? Be very, very intimate in the details about who it is that you want to partner with. And I'm not telling you anything new. If you took a course with my daughter, Sophia, and I'm going to mention her in a minute, then she'd be teaching this to you. She, like most people, have studied Alex Hormozi. This is the guy, $100 million offers. You can get this book. And in this book, I'm sure I've given you this examples where he took a program for $19.97 and charged $1,997. He charged $197. He said $1,997, $197, and $1,997. The same program. Now, what's really interesting is the words that were used to market the program. And for the $1997, it's a low ticket item. It's not very expensive. It was a generic message. Lots of traffic, not a lot of conversion. But for the $1,997, it was a very targeted message to the person reading that, saying, oh my God, this guy's found exactly what I need. That person was willing to pay $1,997 for a program that he was charging $1,997 to the general masses to. If you're talking to the right person because they believe you found what they're looking for, they'll pay whatever you ask. That's how important it is to get a message really on point, very, very specific. So I'm using that approach in who it is that I'm looking to attract to partner with me in my Nikken business. So I encourage you to do it. Take it, copy it, replicate it, put it out there. Define what it is you're looking for, and you're welcome to use that exactly as I've written it. Oh, speaking of which, my daughter, I mentioned this. Did you guys ever watch the video that she did? Why 10x is easier than 2x? There's actually a book about this, 10x. Jeannie,
Yes.
you watched it? What
Yes.
do you think? What do you think
Oh
about
my
that?
gosh. I've listened to it like 15 times already, and I have sent it to a couple of people too. I
Very
was talking with
powerful.
Vance. I was talking with Vance, and so
Vance, yeah, Vance
mhm,
actually wrote me. Actually, I'm going to
yeah,
read you exactly what he wrote me because it was cute.
yeah,
He was so excited after he heard this.
yeah,
He said, "Oh my God, I'm grateful to God that I didn't watch this last night as I have 8,964 people that I'll be sharing this with ASAP. That's the number of people in the Rogers organization, and he can just fix the system for us to download broadcast to them all. Can you get this into a YouTube format? We still have a whole mess of people who do not know what social media is, and yet they know how to click on play in the triangle. God used this video this morning to kick my butt in such a profound way. Please thank Sophia for me having three daughters who are very much living their best life. You can get hung up on all sorts of silly things. I'll be able to share this with them. I get to live it first, and then I'll share it. I'm revamping my 5 pillars goals right now with the 10x factor in mind. Thank you."
yeah,
That's
yeah,
Vance Diamond,
yeah, yeah.
Bigwig and Nikan. So, hey,
But it got me to think about 10xing my business. Like, you know,
well,
oh, it's like,
yeah.
duh, okay.
And then
So,
what happens is, as she describes, it forces you outside of the paradigm you're currently
yes,
operating in.
yes,
You know, to 2x or to 1.5x or whatever you think, oh, it's not the same. Anyway, if you haven't watched it, I'm not going to do it justice by trying to describe it. Watch it. Go to my Facebook page, watch it. I think I posted it on our WhatsApp. In fact, she said she's practicing presenting in front of a larger audience. So she's going to do a free Zoom from, I think she flies to Guatemala Wednesday. She's going to be doing a free, what should you call it, masterclass on that particular subject. Anybody interested? It's free. She's just doing it because she wants to rehearse and dress rehearse in front of people. I'll post it. I'll post the link that you can get access to it and join her masterclass. I'm sure it's going to be brilliant because she's brilliant. So yeah, Paula.
It was funny because Vance interviewed me on Saturday for his Saturday morning program, and he was talking about that video, and he says, "Oh my God!" And he was telling everybody to watch it, but he specifically said, "Don't watch it at night. Don't watch it at night." You know, he says, "I'm hoping everybody watches it at night."
He's saying that because they won't be able to sleep.
Yeah.
That's funny. Thank you. Dr. Karen.
Well, I watched it several times too, and what I realized is that I'm thinking too small. It really pushed me past my limits so that I am starting to expand what I expect of myself.
To whom much is given, much is expected. And if you consider who it is that you are and who gave you that existence, much is expected. And that's why the last part of the video is so profound. Because if you've not partnered up with God, then you're playing it small.
Absolutely.
And there's a big play here. There's a huge play here. Nikan, I mean, think about it. What's going on in the world right now? Let's specifically where we're concerned, where our industry is concerned. For the first time in my entire life, but I've been an advocate for over 30 years of alternative health, of a non traditional approach. We say that non-traditional because it's kind of traditional, the Western approach, but it's not actually traditional. The traditional approach is the Eastern approach that's been around, you know, even the Indians and so forth, long before the Western approach, which started at the turn of the 1900s. So I've been an advocate of an alternative approach to wellness, realizing that the body has the incredible ability to heal itself if it's given the right conditions. So I bought into that a long, long time ago. And as I became more and more passionate about NECAN, as I learned more from other people who were involved in NECAN from all kinds of professions, including the medical profession, I learned all of these incredible things. Our doctors' panels where they would talk about, Madeline, you were on one of those in Toronto, where they would share their understanding of why the NECAN technologies and products had such a profound effect from their point of view as a medical professional. So here we are now at a turning point in the history of mankind where the agenda is being flipped. It's moving away from an allopathic approach and to a more holistic approach as a first option. And that's not to dismiss the other option. It's to say, what is the first option? What should we try and do here is regulate what it is that's causing the issue in the first place. And a lot of those things, including many of the cancers of the world, are preventable. We know this as a fact. And they're preventable by a lot of the things that we apply in our NECAN technology because it helps to relax the body, reduce stress, etc. So a better night's sleep has a huge impact on health and longevity. So we are now becoming more relevant than when I started NECAN, than when you started NECAN. We're more relevant, and the world is turning its attention towards what we're talking about. So this is not the time to ride off into the sunset. This is the time to get loud and to take the gray hairs you've earned and make them count. Seriously, make those gray hairs wisdom. Make them count. Make them be your lever, your leverage in the world to say, hey, I've been around. I've seen it come and go. And here's what I've learned. Josie doesn't have gray hairs. Okay, we believe you, Josie. You can borrow some of mine if you need it. But I'm not kidding you. I'm really serious about that. We really need to take a stand and stand up tall because you represent wisdom. You represent wisdom, and wisdom that a lot of people don't have knowledge of as of yet. And NECAN is a lot of that because the philosophy that drives NECAN, the products and technology that drives NECAN, and I think more importantly, the way we do business, the ethics involved in how we conduct business, where we started this conversation tonight. Focus your efforts on helping somebody else advance, you'll advance. I mean, just think about that alone in the context of the business world, where you're focusing your attention on others to help them advance, and you get automatically taken care of. That is the most ethical way of doing life. And that's us. So, yeah.
I have a question.
Get loud.
I have a question, only because I don't know too much about NECAN, but yes, the products help reduce stress and all that. I'm on board with that. But I have been going through some unbelievable grief. My mother passed away 3 months ago. So I'm wondering if the products work for that. Like, I've never felt this way ever.
I'm not sure what you mean by works for that.
Do you think the sleep or any of our products would help with grieving
Yes.
when the body is grieving?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because I've never felt like this, and it's kicking my ass.
Josie,
Yeah.
I'd be happy to do an ABC with you or talk with you on the phone.
Okay, that's Barbara Richmond. We can connect you with Barbara Madeline as well. And what do we know? What do we know about the correlation between sleep and depression? Do we know something about that?
Direct correlation.
Right? Direct correlation.
Direct correlation.
And so I would say if you're getting a better night's sleep, then you're going to feel better. 100%.
Oh no, I've
So-
been sleeping. I've been sleeping, no problem. That's not the problem.
No, that's not.
But what's the
that's not what
quality
we're
of
saying.
sleep, Josie?
Josie, that's the point. The point
Yeah.
is you may be sleeping the prescribed time. It's how profound is that sleep in the regenerative process.
The
Are you getting
REM,
into it?
right.
Right? And then that's where it can be noticeable. So
It's not
the risk
the
of
number of hours that you're in the bed, Josie. It's what's happening to your
Right.
body
So-
when you're sleeping. You're not hitting that healing level.
Right, right, right.
So there's a book out there by, if I'm not mistaken, it's a chiropractor, where he was rolling the mag boys down someone's back. Can anybody remember that book? What we're talking about?
Body code and emotion code. He's my upline. Yeah, Dr.
Yeah,
Greg.
the emotion,
Nelson.
the emotion code. Brad Nelson?
Yes.
Dr. Brad.
Brad Nelson is a gold.
Okay,
level.
so Brad Nelson, who's built a whole career now, an offshoot of that was a whole career removing what's called the emotional blockages. And he's got this system called the emotion code, and he was teaching us that the magnets, when rolled down someone's back, was clearing layers, miles in this case, layers of emotional trauma that's actually attached itself
He's still doing
to
it.
the body and the emotion. Yeah. So a lot of interesting information there. If you want to read his book, Emotion Code, it talks all about that, how
Actually,
the magnetics can have that kind of an impact.
Dee Welsh is an emotion code practitioner, and possibly
Oh.
Dr. Karen is too. I don't know if you are Dr. Karen,
Yeah,
but Dee is.
Dee is on the call right now. Dee, are you able to chime in?
Yeah, I mean, I am, and I don't do it a lot. I do it on myself every day. And Josie, I'm sorry about the loss of your mom. My son died 4.5 years ago, and I don't know what I would have done if I didn't live in a wellness home and have the quality of sleep and all. It doesn't take away the pain. That's still part of it. And maybe forever. I mean, we've all lost loved ones, and it's very hard. And yet that is all part of life, which my mother taught me when I was a kid. Everybody has challenges in life. That's what life is about. And yet we have a way to help us live our lives in a better way. I mean, that better way is such a key two-word phrase of giving us hope for a better way to live. And so, yeah, trust.
Thank you.
that
Well, I
you
have to
will-
get this sleep system, and sorry for your son, but that's not the worst of it. I'm a naturopath myself for 45 years. The worst of it is I left my place and had to come home temporarily because I should be in the States right now with my sister in America. I am now taking care of my 90-year-old father, and he is not easy. So on top of my grief, I have his crap to deal with. So I need to get the sleep system quick, or the shoes.
Can I make a recommendation?
Probably one for
Yes.
him too. Get
Get
one for him.
you and get one for him. That's
Right.
what-
Get him to sleep.
Seriously, look at all the nodding heads. Everybody knows what
Yes.
we're talking about here.
Now, Josie, one of the other things we talk about is our global wellness community, which you're meeting here tonight. So you already have Dr. Karen and Dee and myself and Barb Richmond. And there's also Kimball Sargent. She's in a private practice, a mental health private practice. She's taking care of her father and mother.
Yeah.
So the people that you have available to you, this is what we have. And those
All willing to help.
yeah, I
Thank
would
you.
absolutely take advantage of everybody.
Thank you.
And yep. And
All
Dee's
right.
Dee very well at the emotion code. Yes, thanks. Well, this was good. This is good for us to know.
Okay, well, listen, time's up. We have 3 days, 3 days and a few hours left in the month. You know, you hear me say this every month, but no, this one, let's make it special. It is special, so let's make it extra special. So take advantage of the time that we have these last 3 days to make somebody's life better. Introduce them to Nikan, introduce them to the sleep technology, in my opinion, is the most profound product we have. I love the water, and it goes hand in hand, the sleep and water. But for me, if I had to choose one, it would be the sleep technology. And so take advantage of what's there. don't let this month pass without making a difference in your life and the lives of others, right?
The cozy is a wonderful blanket. That cozy is
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, got one right there.
They
Okay,
all
everybody.
are. They all are.
Thank
Have a
you.
great month
Good
end. Have a
night.
really great month end.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank
Wow.
you.